Okay, so in this video, I want to talk about effective upselling. Studies have shown that most consumers are comfortable spending upwards of 30% more than the original price in upsells. So if you're selling a $100 item, most consumers are happy to spend $130 with proper upselling. There's a reason why McDonald's invented the saying, "Would you like fries with that?" Right? They can make more. Fries are cheap to produce, but they make more by selling combos than just burgers. And so I've got a shop who's actually more of a friend, and we talk a lot. I'm down at the shop. I get to see his selling ability, and he's a great salesman. He's a great person too, and he was sharing with me a story. Before he was a shop owner, he used to sell knives, and he's a great salesman. Anyone that he talked to about these knives, he could sell the knives to. He was really good, and he really believed in his product. The problem was, no matter how good he was always the number 2 salesman. He could never get to number 1, and it would just eat him up. And so he started asking the number 1 sales guy, "What is your secret? What are you doing that I am not?" And it all came down to the upsell. Sometimes we get our head stuck on the big picture, on the big item. I want to sell this because it's worth $1,000 instead of that because it's worth $500. And we get so fixated on that, we forget about the little upsells. And that's how the other salesman hit number 1 all the time. He'd sell the knives, but he would do an upsell for knife sharpeners and this and that, things to improve their experience of the ownership of the knives. And they would add up. So if I asked you if you could upsell something that's worth $25, $30 and half of your customers bought it, what does that add up to a year? Depending on your shop and your numbers, that could be an extra $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 in sales for the shop for small upsells. So it's really important that you try and upsell things. Now, we've talked about presenting the services at the beginning of the visit, selling them up front. That could be a part of your upsell process. Upsells can also be smaller items that you can have around the shop. This is just one thing I really want you to pay attention to and think about this. When I go into most shops, I never see things on display that could possibly be sold, or very seldom. Think about when you go to a grocery store, right? No matter where you're at the grocery store, there's always those last minute things right by the checkout. There's the gum, the chocolate bars, the magazines, the things you didn't necessarily go for, but contributes to their sales a lot, right? Now some places even have a freaking maze of stuff you have to go through to the checkout to walk through, and they have all the stuff there that you might look at and go, "Hey, I could use that." I'm not saying do that at the shop exactly, but I do have to ask why you don't have a display rack that maybe has some windshield wipers, some air filters, some detailing kits, some headlight polishing kits, things that you can sell for an extra $25, $30, $40 or more. And sometimes it's not even about asking. The customer will see them together and go, "Yeah, I came for this and that." They will sell themselves on getting new windshield wipers, right? And again, I'm not suggesting that you need to stock every year, make, model, everything on there so it's ready, right? You're getting that from your parts store. But you're telling me that you can't afford to put 4 or 5 different windshield wipers on a rack, a couple of air filters, a couple things as display to get their interest, so when they buy, you can order the right one for their vehicle. It makes a huge difference, right? Simply put a sign. "How are your wipers working?" with some windshield wipers there. it will do the upsell for you without you having to think about it much. So think about how you can strategically put stuff like that around the shop for the upsell. The last part about the upsell before you're presenting, trying to upsell them, again, is looking for the signals, the verbal signals, the physical signals. When you're telling your customers things and you're trying to explain they should get something, trying to sell them on something more, how are they reacting? Are they looking away? Are they looking down? Or are they engaged with you? Do they have eye contact with you? You know, are they sighing a little bit? Or are they nodding their head yes as you're talking to them? Look for the buying signals, the signals that make you say this customer is engaged. When is the best time to stop selling? When the customer stops buying, right? Get them to agree on things. Okay, now we've agreed on that. Now let's move into this. Let's move into this. You know, like, don't stop until the customer says no, right? Again, it's not being pushy, but as long as they keep saying yes, keep going further if you have that ability, if there's more to be done. Don't stop yourself on upselling just because you think, oh yeah, I sold 2 things, that's enough, I'm done. When that customer might buy 5 things. So that's our video on effective upselling. We'll catch you on the next one.